Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Thank you. Thank you so very much for stopping here on this post. Tonight I want to talk to you on the subject matter. I am the way. I am the way. I'm sure you've heard that before. Now, let me give you some reasons that I'm qualifying myself to speak to you on that particular subject. First of all, one of my greatest qualifications, I think, is I'm a senior. I have been living a long time. And sometimes living a long time can have some wonderful benefits, and I would like to think that I have something to offer in that regard. On the other hand, I've been involved in government. I've been involved in education at the university level, government at the federal level. I've been involved in recruitments. I've been involved in entertainment. Been involved in music and singing and stuff like that. Been involved in the military. Some strange things, though, ladies and gentlemen. In the military, I joined it under Jimmy Carter. And I came out under Ronald Reagan because I refused to wear the uniform under Ronald Reagan's leadership after he started doing things that I just could not live with. And that was basically his policies toward the third world countries and poor countries. Nope, he was an embarrassment to me. And so I didn't want that uniform, people see me and see Ronald Reagan. Oh, when he got caught, and I got paid for that, ladies and gentlemen. It was okay. It was a beautiful thing. You know, I got court-martialed. I did a little bit of time. It was all beautiful, extremely beautiful. This is what I'm going to tell you about. I am the way. But I just wanted you to know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I've done a lot of lying. I've done, I guess you might say I've done some cheating. I can't see what I benefit from that cheating unless you're talking about maybe having a girlfriend cheating on her. Yeah, I've done that. I have stolen, and I've been to jail. I've been to the workhouse. I've been to prison. And for every situation that I found myself in, ladies and gentlemen, it was an absolute blessing. And so it gives me the authority to sit before you today and say, I want to tell you about this thing that's related to I am the way. You know, ladies and gentlemen, when you start thinking about what is a solid way, a solid picture of path, policy set up that would invite the kinds of things that we as a people want. And I would suggest that perhaps, you know, the highway system. The highway system is a system that is open to everybody who wants to use it. It has a bunch of rules. And when those rules are followed, the highway is excellent. It opens the pathway to get you wherever you're trying to go. And not only that, it will get you back. And it could be a scenic trip. But there are rules that must be followed. If you do not follow those rules, then havoc will break loose. Can you imagine people not following the rules on the highway when you get cars crossing cross sections and there are no stop signs or lights or people just speeding up and speed? Can you imagine what that's like? Chaos, chaos. But no, they got rules. And what do those rules do? Those rules protect everybody on the highway. Basically what it says, stay in your lane. There's a time to move over, around. There's a time to slow up. There's a time to maybe speed up. Get back in the proper lane at the time. Even certain speeds. Rules. What do? They protect everybody. They protect you. They protect me. They protect everyone. Those are the rules, simple rules of the road. But they don't have to be just the simple rules for driving down the highway. Simple rules for the road of life. Just like everybody's protected by the rules on the highway, then everybody should be protected according to the rules within a society. Everybody got something to lose if the rules aren't followed. And everybody is happy and thrilled when the rules are. Now, ain't that something, ladies and gentlemen? Now, that was so simple. That was clear. I mean, that was so clear to you. Now, let me tell you about when you hear the expression, I am the way. What do you think of? Many of you might say, well, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man gets to the Father but by me. That from the Bible. I believe it's a scripture from the Bible or some words in the scripture. No man gets to the Father but by me. I am the way. Would you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if I ask you right now, how would you interpret that? Yes, there would be a lot of people who interpret it the same way that you do. But there would be much, much, much more people that would be interpreting it different. But one way it seems to me that should be clear. When people say, follow me, when they say, believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God, when they say that he died on the cross for you and I, for sinners, that he was buried and that he rose from the dead, having been born of a virgin, but he rose from the dead, and that he ascended into heaven on the right hand of the Father to be an advocate for us sinners. If you believe that, they say, I truly believe they also want you to follow it, but that is the way to get to heaven, to be where Jesus is. Well, that might have been a time when I might have thought that. But there was also a time when I paid any reference to it. It said, I am the way. In other words, follow me. I'm going down the street. Follow me. I'm going to turn to the left. Follow me. I see pain and suffering. I'm going to deal with that. Follow me. I see hunger. I got to make sure that the people understand that there's a power, there's a way that these things can be done, that people will not have to be hungry. Follow me. Oh, magnificent. But in order for that to happen, you got to have some truth in it that would lead you to that. I mean, simply put, if you just can believe that Jesus did these things for you, then you don't have to do anything. Well, follow me says to everyone a different thing. But it opens up a door for a person like me to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, being a child, you act as a child, and a child is governed. A child is governed by their parents. They're governed by their parents' rules. They're governed by their parents' laws. They're governed by their parents' love. There comes a time when they're supposed to reach maturity, and it appears that a lot of people want to say that they are delivered from their parents to the state, and where they now follow the rules and regulations of the state, supposedly trained in their growth by the parents, supposedly. Well, that might be the case in world's system. But that maturity has not grown until a person understands the truth. And that is an awakening to the reality that each and every last one of us are only under the authority of God, the Creator, and no one else. No one else. Now that's when you have, I've said oftentimes, born again. That's when that trash you've been taught. I don't know what you did, what came about for you to know the truth now. But now you do know that you answer to God. And people might say, well, what about the laws of the state? Well, the laws of the states, they are designed to do whatever they're trying to do. If the laws of the state lined up or are aligned with the truth of God, the truth, and I want to say the truth of God, just as the truth of life. If it aligns, then you automatically together on that. I mean, but where it doesn't work, you ain't wearing that nowhere. You're not even compromising a little bit. Not a little bit. Because compromising is the beginning of the end. So, what I'm actually saying, my friends, is that to follow Jesus, if you want to say that, you have to think about what Jesus did. Now, I realize many people don't believe in Jesus. Many people don't believe in Santa Claus, but there's a story there. There's a story in Santa Claus. There's a story in Jesus. And for those who have tried either, they might be able to give some information that people who haven't tried them don't have. Now, for me, I grew up on Jesus. And I love the story of Jesus. I mean, walking on water, you know the whole works. But beyond all of that, I love the compassion of Jesus. It taught me that all people were made by the same power. Taught me that. I mean, I accept that. And it taught me that when we are listening to the truth because we know the truth, and we make a decision. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to speed this up a little bit because I don't have that much time. But what I really want you to know is this. When you make a decision to listen to God, to truth, when you make a decision to accept love and become love, you are free from everything that would bind you. You have been set free by love. You walk according to the freeness that you have. You do what you want to do. You don't do anything. Free people that love God, first of all, are not going to do anything to harm or cause pain to anyone else. But they're not going to deny themselves life because of anything. Anything. So, now, when you give that some thought, anything might have something in it. But for right now, anything. What it actually means to me is when you follow truth. Let me put it to you this way. I want you to really understand this. I was taught different. I was taught about love. I was taught about that the things that was so extraordinary was the fact that people wanted to live. They wanted to love. They wanted their dreams to come true and their aspirations. And I found out that all of those things can come true. I really found that out. I found that out because I followed Jesus. I said to myself, I don't care what the system says, they are wrong. And when I was going to prison and stuff like this, ladies and gentlemen, I felt like I was in heaven. I felt like I was in heaven. Why? Because I was standing up for what I knew to be right. And the purpose that I was standing up for was twofold. It was for me to represent what I knew to be right, and two, to be an example to the rest of you who would see it. Whether you saw it then or whether you saw it 100 years from now. That's the reason I'm doing this tape for you tonight. I want you to know that the authority in your life comes from a spirit you can't see, can't touch, can't feel. And nobody has the right to try to dictate to you what you should do. Now, as far as your being here on this earth, every human being on the face of the earth got to pay a responsibility, a role for being here, and that is to engage yourself in a career. Now, that's not a hard, complicated thing because the career that you are supposed to be doing will give you your greatest joy. And everybody that's fit working requirements should be doing it. No if and ands about it, and everybody would do it unless there's other too young, can't because of some hang-ups or whatever. But when you can do what you want to do, you're not going to be letting too much hang you up because you want to do it. And food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, all that stuff is automatic. And you'll live with peace, for peace, prosperity, and freedom, and joy in your life and the fulfillment of your dreams. All of these things are absolutely automatic. But it comes when people say, I'm not going to be following your view. I'm not going to be following your view. The only view that is the righteous view is the view that works for everybody. Let me say it again. You say, well, how do you know it's God's view? How do you know it's love's view? Because it works for everybody. It works for you, and it works for those you hate. Yes, it really does. Now, I could tell you more, but I won't because the time is running tight, and I want to just go on back to bed. Oh, let me tell you why I once said why I want to do this for you. I wanted to do it for you because there's this virus out and it's kicking butts. Nobody is promised tomorrow. They weren't promised tomorrow before this virus came. And you definitely know you're not promised now. So I'm going to bed tonight. And I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow. You know, I just, for one reason or another, I might not wake up tomorrow. But I'm doing this post. And I'm posting it. I'm posting it so even if I'm gone, I want you to know that this young man in spirit, an old man in physical form, wants you to know that there's a power you can't see, and I call it God. And that power loves me, and that power loves every last one of you. The pain and suffering that you go through every day is because you have been deceived, and you have been split up, thinking all kinds of things, and you cannot, and you refuse to come together. And as long as you are like that, you're going to always be messed up, going through pain and suffering. People are going to be hurting. You're going to be trying to avoid wars, and it's going to be coming, lying, crime. Oh, come on, my friends, my sisters, and my brothers. But that's the way, not just of America, that's the way of the world. So my invitation is to let you know that if you get fed up with this stuff, the moment you say, I'm fed up, and mean it, you are free from religious institutions and obligations. You are free from carnal stuff. You're free from the Constitution of the United States. You are free to walk according to the dictates of that one which is guiding your life. And wherever it leads you, you are qualified to be there. It might lead you in prison, like when I went to prison, I think as I said, Jimmy Carter was president. It led me there. The things that were happening. I thought something was going to happen. Ronald Reagan threw, I think, a deal that the word at the time was through a deal with the Iranians. Helped him to get elected. Same kind of deal Trump was trying to pull with Russia. He and Flynn. Ronald Reagan got away with it. Trump got caught. But it's the same old game, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get mad with Ronald Reagan, and I didn't take it. I didn't get mad. I just was embarrassed, and I'm embarrassed with Trump. If I was in the military, there's no way I'd wear a uniform, Donald Trump, President of the United States. There's no way. It's the biggest insult. That kind of shame, I ain't having. I go to prison for stealing $20,000, but I ain't going around wearing a uniform talking Donald Trump is my what? Oh, can't say it. I just can't say it. Anyway, I want you to know that when you are on that path, the joy that you get, the world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. I want you to understand that being free has a price. Free means that death can't bind you. Free means that death can't bind you because the enemy of life uses death to scare the hell out of everybody to sit down and become slaves until they get old and wrinkled and can't do nothing, can't remember nothing, can't see nothing, stink, all that kind of stuff. Scared to die. And let me say this to you too, since I got another minute. I don't know anything about the afterlife. I've heard about it. I can believe anything, but I don't want to be trying to push that to you like that's something. It, to me, really ain't nothing that I can prove. But I can tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. On this earth, heaven or hell is in not just your mouth, but it's in your hands. Heaven or hell. There are certain principles that will give you heaven, and what is that about? That's about everybody's dreams being fulfilled. And there's hell. That's about some people's dreams being fulfilled at the expense of everybody else. Now, each of us got choice. We play a role. Neither of these can exist without us. And so in our doing, we actually become what we used to say, God did this. Now, if we do it, we did it. We God. If we destroyed, we did it. We the devil. So right here, we the devil and we God, according to our actions. What our actions represent, whether we are of God or whether we are of the devil. But as we can see it, God will be looking like me and you. The devil will be looking like me and you. And where we're at, heaven or hell, will be reflected in whether we are living or whether we're going through hell. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember that the power is in your hand. It ain't in Washington. In fact, like I said a moment ago, the moment you make up your mind, you're free from all that. It might mean that you might have to, eat out of a garbage can one night. But it will, man, if I can just tell you the stories, how wonderful it is to be free. And I can't do it now. I got to go. The next time, Eddie Marcus say goodbye.